Hi everybody! I hope you're having a wonderful week. It's time for your next art lesson. Today what you need for your art lesson is crayons. Any crayons will do, whether they're broken or whole or twistables or whatever you've got, and some paper. So I hope you've got those two things. You can always use the back of a piece of paper if you don't have any clean paper. So today we're going to talk about texture. And if you have had me in art class, you know what texture is. Just to remind you, texture is the way something feels. So there are all sorts of different types of textures. For example, rough and smooth and bumpy and spiky. So what we're going to do with texture today is we are going to make a picture, and you're going to use at least 5 different types of texture to make your picture look more interesting and give it some more detail. So here's my example that I've finished already, and I am going to show you just how we're going to do it. Now that you know what textures are, hopefully you can look around your house and around your yard and find things with different textures. Okay, you guys, I'm outside. I'm on a treasure hunt for textures. So I just walked outside my front door and I found some already. So I'm gonna flip my camera and show you some of the things that I found. In my garden, I have these big rocks. They were here when we got the house, and they're so rough and bumpy. They would make a wonderful texture. All right, I've walked about 10 feet and look at this pretty tree. Look at that trunk of that tree and how rough and bumpy that looks. That is gonna make a beautiful texture. I found this piece of wood that it's kind of like a stump. It's been sitting here. The kids actually jump off of it when we put a swing here in the summertime. I'm gonna put my paper down there and rub. And I bet that is gonna be that is one cool texture. Check that out. Check out the beautiful texture on this table that I have, my little rooster statue sitting on. Or this, it's pretty much the same texture on this chair. It's like a wicker woven texture. We have a flagpole, and look at the bumpy nature of the metal on the flagpole. I did my exploring outside. I am ready to start my drawing. So I need paper and some crayons. Okay, so we're gonna divide up our paper and we're gonna have a little math lesson, kind of like we did the last time. So the first thing I want you guys to do is, with a marker or a pencil or a crayon or anything, I'm gonna do it with a marker. I want you to take your paper and divide it in half. If we were doing math, that would be in half, okay? So then, after you have it in half, I want you to divide your paper into quarters, which means 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you are doing math, that looks like this. Okay, that's quarters. Okay, and then we're gonna divide each of those quarters in half again. So we're gonna draw a line like that, and draw a line like that, and then we have 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if you're doing it in math, that would be 1/8. So that's eighths. All right, in each of those 8 sections, we're going to draw a different texture. All right, what we are going to do now is draw a different texture in each of these eighths of our paper. So your job is to go around your house and find things with textures. So I was looking through the boys' room. So for example, I found a piece like a Lego, and I'm gonna get a crayon and I'm gonna stick it under my paper and I'm gonna rub, and you can see the beautiful texture of the Lego piece coming through. And then when I run out of Lego, I just have to move my paper over and do it again. Now the beautiful thing about the crayons is they don't have to be perfect crayons. If you have broken crayons, they actually work really wonderfully. So I'll show you that on the next section. So I have one gray section here. Sorry, my camera's a little shaky. All right, now in my next section, I need to put a different texture. So I was looking around and I found this cup, which I'm gonna stick underneath there. See how this cup has like a bumpy, sort of square, bumpy texture. So I'm gonna stick my paper on top of there, and I'm gonna use the side of my crayon, and I'm gonna, now you can do this with the top of the crayon too, but I love to use the sides of the crayons when they're broken crayons. And I'm gonna keep moving it, doing the best I can to pick up that texture. Isn't that great? And then I'm gonna fill up the last sections of my paper so that I have all 8 sections decorated with different textures. I have all 8 of my practice rubbings, so I know which ones I like and which ones I don't like. As I was walking inside, I found all sorts of other things. So, like this spray bottle that I had, it has writing on the side of the plastic, and as I run my fingers across it, that could be really cool. I found in this jar, same thing. It's got it's got a design on it. I could put my paper on top of that. All sorts of stuff. I bet you have even more stuff at your house. So make some rubbings, make some practices, and then when you're all done with your practices, if you still have some creative energy, it's time to draw a picture. You can draw anything that you want. I chose like a springy kind of thing with some flowers and the grass because it's springtime and I'm just so excited that the flowers are starting to come up. And then I decorated it with textures. So can you kind of check that out? There's that one down there at the bottom. That's the wicker table that I have outside. Doesn't that turn out cool? And then the blue is a tree trunk. And then I've got my Legos there. And then that square thing, that was, I don't remember what that was. Maybe the cracks in the sidewalk. So make something cool. Make something with some textures. Remember, textures the way something feels. And I hope you enjoy doing this little art project. Find all sorts of cool stuff and send me some pictures, okay? Have a great week. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.